The best time of the year is upon us. Football is back, MLB playoffs are just around the corner, and your favorite artists are out on tour. But did you know you can go to events like these for half off or more when you buy tickets last minute with Game Time? Game Time is the fastest growing ticketing app that guarantees the lowest price on tickets to all your favorite sports, concerts, and shows. You can see the view from your seat in the app, and checkout takes less than 30 seconds. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code DK20 for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's DK20 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
I'm in a bit of a precarious spot today because it's first game of the season. You beat Belichick. You beat the Patriots. Everyone needs to be happy if they're Dolphin fans. But, I want the quarterback to be better than that.
Oh, I am so happy we got that game from Tua yesterday. I realized that I really miss not knowing what the fuck to say about Tua. And one game in, we are back, baby. Oh, got no idea.
He made some bad decisions on sacks. He could have been intercepted a couple of times, probably should have been. Tyreek Hill totally bailed him out on a jump ball, which I don't think you want to keep doing.
I have watched the Twitter video of that high snap first pass, trying to watch if it got tipped, trying to see what happened. I kept rationalizing his timing got thrown off. That was a tutter to Tyreek Hill. And it was one of the worst passes I've ever seen.
I don't know what that was because Tyreek Hill could have run, it looked like, for 70 yards on that pass if it had been thrown by somebody who had arms. But that just was thrown straight into the ground, 10 yards at his feet. And I don't have any idea what that was from the guy who throws the most accurate catchable ball that Mike McDaniel has ever seen.
Tyreek Hill is one of those guys that if you see space in front of him, you can already kind of project that's 6. And that was 6. Hell, it might have been 12. He was that open. I don't know how he missed that. The team looked great. The defense looked really good. Yes. Mac Jones looked really bad. Maybe the game was out of pocket so early on that you just didn't need to see a lot from Tua. No real evaluation there, which is not something that I expected. But actually, when you look at Tua's career on the whole, maybe this is what we expect.
But the thing is that it's in the eye of the beholder, Dan, because you'll come in here today and Dolphins fans will be mad at you because I said yesterday that he makes terrible decisions, and very often when he's put under pressure by defensive linemen, he just completely panics, doesn't know how to fall on the ball, doesn't know how to throw it at a running back's feet, is begging to throw an interception or have a fumble return for a touchdown. And when you say that, you get the box score numbers thrown back at you. Go look at Tua's box score from yesterday. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like 23 of 32, 270 yards, a touchdown. He had, no interceptions. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. And immediately you go to Twitter and it's, Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow threw 4 interceptions. Yeah. And you start comparing them against all the other quarterbacks, and he looks like the 11th best quarterback in the league. What are you complaining about?
You see one bad throw, and then Twitter makes you feel better because you see 7 Patrick Mahomes bad throws, which I believe are the only 7 bad throws he's ever thrown. And there's a lot of rationalizing when it comes to Tua, and I think it's okay to say you don't know. Not me, though. I know. I love him a lot.
I think everyone is just doing the confirmation bias thing with Tua. If you've always hated him and didn't think he was the guy, every 23 for 33, 270-yard stat line is it should be better than that. And if you think that he's the guy and he's going to do better under this offense, then you're looking at that and saying, wow, that's a really good start for him.
But have you mentioned that he's such a sweet boy?
I don't have confirmation bias because I've watched him play. I don't know. I watched him yesterday. I don't know. Maybe that is confirmation bias. Maybe I will never know. You've got a quarterback rating from him of 77.7, and God help the Patriots. It seems pretty obvious in retrospect that Tom Brady was holding the whole thing up. But when you mentioned to me the Chiefs, they had 66 plays yesterday and 33 first downs. The Steelers had 13 first downs the whole game. The Chiefs had 11 in the first quarter.
With Tua, if you say you don't know, then you do kind of know, right?
You kind of know. You do kind of know. If you've been dating a partner for as long as Tua's been down here and you still don't know yet, kind of know.
I don't think that you can make that assessment after one game, not knowing what Belichick can do against a first-year coach. I thought Belichick was going to take away Tyreek Hill, and Mike McDaniel wouldn't let him.
Can we just stop for a second and celebrate the Patriots being shitty?
Yeah.
Like, that's the real news here.
It's amazing.
It was so nice just to look at that sideline and be like,
They
nothing.
got nothing.
Devontae Parker is what they got going on.
Are they shitty, or are the Dolphins just that great
Ooh.
that they made them look
You're giving
that
me a lot
shitty?
to think about.
Well, I
right
think
now.
that the Patriots are so shitty that the
the
Dolphins
Dolphins are great.
can play pretty average. If you watch that game, there was a lot of missed tackles, a lot of like inaccurate throws,
Yeah, they weren't even
inaccurate from
good.
Tua. That's what I mean. They weren't good yesterday, and they had an easy win because they're playing a bad team. I thought
they did get away with a lot. They had 2
Yes.
fumbles that went out of bounds.
Oh, and that Devontae Parker.
that was a
play,
pass interference.
That was a PI.
Yeah, for sure.
well,
DPI.
they had an interception that was right in the defender's hands. It was just dropped too.
Yeah, but who threw that? Not important.
they also, but
It
they had,
was hot yesterday.
It was so hot.
Oh my god.
So
Cars
hot.
on fire.
that
That's
was
the
not,
heat.
That's
Yeah.
not because it was hot.
No,
Somebody-
Oh,
it
it
is.
wasn't?
It is.
No,
yeah.
it is.
I don't know if you
It
can be
is
sure
'cause
about
of the
that.
heat.
No,
Yeah.
it's because of the heat. Cars just explode. It's that hot out there.
If it's cold out and you leave your grill on, you notice because it's still hot. If it's hot out and you leave your grill on, it's just hot everywhere.
That's an excellent point.
110 degrees on the field. How much do you imagine it sucks to come out of the stadium and see that your car is charred because
But a big Dolphins win, though.
Huge.
So
Depends
it
if you
kinda
want a new
cancels
car.
out.
Yeah. It's like
You guys, yeah, if you
classic
have-
good news, bad news
If you have
situation.
insurance, you're fine. Do you think every producer thought yesterday, let's get our talent a comically large thermometer to do the field level, and thought they'd be the only one that did that because every single person on the field had a larger thermometer than the other person?
Usually they save giant thermometer season for the winter, but they brought it out in week 1 because it was so hot.
I mean, your car blowing up, you get out of work Monday, you get a new car if you have good
Do you?
it's
It's a good week.
You
I mean,
might
that's
have
it's
to
a good week.
definitely go to work.
Are you kidding me?
You
I
have a
have to
story?
go to work? That's a good I can send a picture.
Pay for the car that blew up.
I'm
You got
sa-
a great story.
Yes.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, if you
I thought about it. I'm not going to
covers it.
lie. I thought about it, like, texting the group, like, hey, guys, sorry, my car was one of them. I'll see you Tuesday.
That is a great Slack though,
Great
to send
excuse.
on a Sunday night. You send
Sorry,
it to the group Slack. Hey guys, can't make it to work tomorrow. My
exploded.
car exploded. I saw on the NBC local news after Sunday Night Football. I'm the one person that left it on. There was this one guy who came on and claimed that his car was worth $280,000 and that he had $3,000 cash inside the car. That Stu Gatz is strong in him.
That's why he's not here today. He's filing that claim.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Batard Show. If your car catches fire and chars, are you allowed to miss the next day at work? The Patriots,
That's
speaking
incredible.
Hold on.
That is incredible.
How is this car worth $280,000? He has like 18 bricks of cocaine in this car.
And why
as
is
it's
he
burning
parking in the
down.
orange lot? I don't understand.
It does have to be pretty terrible. There were 4 people, because I saw 5 cars just totally charred. There were 4 people. They come out, they've tailgated, they feel good about the Dolphins, they've convinced themselves that Tua is the answer, and you get out and the way the mind works, you slowly notice as you get close to your car, oh my God, there are cars burnt over there. Oh my God, that's my car. How am I getting home?
I think I still try the alarm just in case.
Yeah, there's someone who's wandering around the parking lot, pressing and holding their button, going, "Where's my car?"
I've got one drunk guy checking his trunk just to see if those beers are still cold. Like, he's like, come on, if I'm going to stay here for an hour waiting for a tow truck, I got to at least...
I got you
Shit, it
being
won't
that
open.
guy.
Yeti said it was supposed to be cold for 3
Yeah.
days.
Yeti my ass.
There's a guy walking out there saying, dude, where's my char?
That's good.
No, it isn't. No, that deserves nothing. Look at, she's applauding her own joke.
That's actually a good Twitter joke. That's a good Twitter joke.
And it's like 50 retweets,
Yeah,
1,000 likes.
Dude, where's
yeah.
my char?
Yeah, 7 quotes.
The Patriots, go ahead and send it out now before the episode drops. See what you get on that. The Patriots are 6-8 in their last 14 AFC East games.
That is incredible. I think Chris did bring up a good point. Like, for whatever Tua is or isn't, he owns the Patriots. And when you look at the history of that rivalry within this division in the 21st century, That is a 0.4.
Oh, but please, come on, man. 4-0 against the Patriots. This version, when they're 6-8 in the AFC East, and 4 of the wins are against the Jets.
They were a playoff team last year.
And well, come on, though, Mike. Like
They were.
But it's also, again, very little to do with the quarterback. Yesterday, the defense scored as many points as the Patriots did. It was Dolphins offense 13, Dolphins defense 7, Patriots offense.
Yeah.
I know. The Dolphins won the game, but if we're talking about quarterback play,
I want to talk about the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
I just want to talk about the Dolphins.
The Dolphins smashed
Good team.
A team that is
said it.
really struggling. Like the Patriots team is not going to look like that by the end of the season. I trust Bill Belichick too much to he'll figure it out by the end of the year.
The announcer was saying, he did the thing at the end of the game. He's like, I don't care if Tom Brady's gone. The Patriots are still the Patriots. And I was thinking to myself, are they?
No, they're not even wearing
They
the
have
same
Devontae
uniforms.
Parker out there. Like,
If they were wearing the same uniforms, it might feel different. But they got these generic Madden created team uniforms, and it's just not the same.
I'm okay with that perception being out there, though, that the Patriots are still the Patriots and this was a good win. Because even though we're watching that game, not very I'm once again, I already said this. I'm happy that the Dolphins can play average and win easily. I think that's a good sign.
The line was small. They smashed a team that is obviously struggling throughout the preseason. They did not play well. They had their defense clicking. What am I missing here? Like, they did what they were supposed to do.
I'll tell you what you're missing, okay? For 20 years, I've been tired of 20-7 results that don't actually mean anything. 20 years of 20-7 wins.
Whoa, you did not have 20 years of 20-7 wins. I'll stop you right there. I don't care who the opponent is.
Mike.
Those did not come.
Mike, the reason there's enthusiasm about this team is not because it scores 13 points on offense. The reason this season is filled with hope is not because this coach manages to get Chase Edmonds to make the first down sign when it's still 3rd and 1
Yeah, but
after his
Tyreek Hill
longest
looked
run of the
good.
game.
Waddle looked good. There were flashes on offense. I understand the 13 points. Wacky game because of the turnover. Game was out of hand. I'm saying I would like to see. I expect a lot more from a Mike McDaniel offense. I'll say that right off the bat. But you cannot take for granted a 20-7 victory over the New England Patriots. You just flatly cannot in the AFC.
With all the upsets yesterday, too. Like, a lot of teams didn't do what they were supposed to do yesterday. The Dolphins did. I mean, I just think, I know we have to talk about this, so we're going to analyze it. We're going to, go too far into the weeds, but it's 1-0, baby. Yeah. Good win. Can't we just say that?
No, but I can say that. Yes, of course it's a good win.
Say it.
Yes, it's a good win.
All right.
Any win in that league is a good win.
Nah.
No but.
No.
You stop with the but.
There is a but. No, because the measure on this thing on a quarterback is not wins, and you guys are throwing in my face he beat Belichick 4 times, and it's like, nah, man.
Well, I think it's something. It's something that Dolphins quarterbacks can't say down here since Dan Marino. Even Marino had his problems with the New England Patriots. I think it's remarkable that they have owned the New England Patriots.
Mike,
and yeah, they had a bad season the year before, but they were a playoff team last year.
I don't know what you're doing. You're doing the Patriots of the last 20 years, but not the
Patriots of last year. Yeah, they made the playoffs last year. The Dolphins, last time I checked, did not make the playoffs last year.
In their last 14 games in a shit division. 14 games, so it's not a terribly small.
I'm not going to call it a shit division. I'm just flatly not. They had 2 playoff teams last year. One of them beat the other one in the playoffs. I can't. The Super Bowl favorite that dominated the Super Bowl champion on Thursday night. I'm not going to do.
If I tell you that any other team but this one is 4-0 against the Patriots, who are 6-8 in their last 14 AFC East games, you shrug your shoulders. You're not making it into anything. We have to make it into something because it's a Dolphin Monday. They've won the game. It's something meant to be celebrated, and we are going to do the analysis on Tua week to week for the rest of time as the Titans now realize, oh, look, after 7 years of Tannehill in Miami, that's probably not enough anymore.
We don't have to do Tua week to week. Just enjoy it. Well, by the way, who do you have next week? We haven't gotten your week 2.
I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing that's worth discussing. Right? Is they have 13 offensive points. How do you feel going into at the Ravens? Because I feel like the Dolphins are going to be stuck on 7 points after 3 quarters. That's how I feel. And nothing I saw yesterday, other than Tyreek Hill, his specialness is going to translate. And that was super encouraging. Right? Is that you aren't going to ruin Tyreek Hill, which I think is a positive. But that being said, I still think that Tua is going to be put under pressure by the Ravens. They could potentially be without 2 starting offensive linemen again. He'll be under pressure. He'll struggle to handle it. They'll have 7 points after 3 quarters. That's how I think it's going to go on Sunday. And that is the same story year over. That is not progression.
Every big-time acquisition that the Dolphins have ever made on offense, except for not certainly for Ricky Williams, but usually they come here and they disappoint. They just weren't what they were in the previous stop. And it looks like Tyreek Hill is still that dude. And I think the Dolphins took this season, given how they approached the draft, the same way that the Eagles did when they acquired A.J. Brown. We're going to give you all the possible weapons, so everyone in the organization and the fans alike can't say you don't have enough support on offense, and we'll make our evaluation.
But then he one-hops the first throw of the game.
Timing. And it's hot. It was so hot.
Yeah.
You say that Tyreek Hill is that dude, and maybe in this offense, slants and bubble screens and throws 4 yards in front will get him to his 90 yards because they did throw the ball to him a ton, and it was obvious that, as we know, that he creates space in a way that Devontae Parker does not create space because of his quickness. But I am not willing to make any leaps off of what I believe that Belichick will not fix, a bad Patriots team.
It sounds like to me, Dan, the take your take is infested with your set opinion on what you think the New England Patriots are going to be this year. You don't think it was that impressive of a game because you don't have respect for what you think the Patriots are going to be.
No, Mike, I just told you. Don't change my words. I expected their offense to look really dynamic, and it didn't. That's it.
They scored 13 offensive points yesterday.
That's fair.
And that's it.
Well, we might be
anything
overreacting
else.
to 1 week, though. Like, it might look better. It takes time.
What I'm saying is Bill Belichick, I'm certain, is going to have a good defense by the end
What
of
you
the
guys
year.
think the Bengals were going to look like this year?
Like that?
They look like shit
So
yesterday.
true.
Yeah,
We should
I-
talk about that.
I've talked about it often. I expected them to revert
Four
back.
fall
to
back.
interceptions.
They definitely overachieved.
If you look back, the fact that they were like a half second away from hitting Jamar Chase on that, they almost flatly stole a Super Bowl. I don't think they'll even make the playoffs this year. That is a huge reversion to the mean coming for the Cincinnati Bengals. They got a lot of talent. I don't have any questions about Joe Burrow. That was a lot of picks.
That's kind of the whole league, though. The Bengals, they're like real close to not even being in the playoffs. They make it to the Super Bowl. The Dolphins didn't play that well, but they won. Like, I just feel like there's 20 teams in this league that just can win. Like, the Dolphins are one of them. The Bengals are one of them. It's a weird league.
I went into yesterday expecting the Dolphins to look like one of the best offenses in the league. And that is my expectation. No, but you say yes.
Those are high expectations. The first
I'm
week.
with them, though. Like, they got Waddle, they got Tyreek Hill, they got so much speed. They have a quarterback. They have a head coach that comes from an
The run game
offensive system.
was bad. I will give you that. But the pass, like I see the potential in this offense yesterday. It wasn't like back in the day when Sperano's offenses. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to see things that I didn't even actually see yesterday. But I feel like this offense is going to be fine. It wasn't a great performance yesterday, but I'm encouraged about this team after yesterday. I'm not thinking.
Give it a grade.
I'm giving them a. Like yesterday, I give them just a C,
Ooh.
just average.
Dan, give them a grade.
That's encouraging to you.
No, I don't think they're going to play like that all year. I think they can play better. I think that, and that's what they said in McDaniel's post-game speech. He's like, we got a lot of stuff to clean up, but hey, 1-0.
Classic C.
Yeah.
Classic C.
This is happening in every market in America today. The game one overreactions, and if you won, you're celebrating it. And I'm going to be negative guy for not celebrating it enough because I want fireworks. I did not go into this season with hope for
It was
the first time.
explosive out at Hard Rock Stadium, just in the parking lot.
They were also up like 17-0, so they could take their foot off the gas. Like, they didn't have to do a lot of that stuff in the second half.
How about
they just had to hold on?
I think that's an important point. The tempo of that game, just like that game was over by halftime, and it's just about keeping the ball away.
Well, tell me this then, because this is how I experienced what Tyreek Hill was saying when he said that Mike McDaniel has a wheelbarrow full of balls for going for it on 4th and 7, up 10-0, right before the half from the Patriots' 42-yard line. And I was thinking, as it happened, I don't know how many coaches in the history of the Miami Dolphins in that situation, when you say just hold on, don't coffin kick there in to the corner and just take the 10-0 lead in at halftime so that they don't end up with a 10-3 game at halftime because they give the Patriots the ball back and don't have confidence in making their 4th and 7. But I also thought that McDaniel's not going to make that decision every time. He made it because he knew that the Patriots weren't going to do anything against his defense, that they weren't going to be able to move the ball. And so it was easier to make that decision because of that.
Once again, after Tyreek Hill said that, I was like, man, Kansas City did such a great job of not letting this dude speak last year, because Kansas City was super aggressive. The most aggressive team in the league, arguably. Why wouldn't he say that about Andy Reid? The fact is, they just didn't let him talk that way over there. It's not that courageous. If you're inside the 50 and it's a 4th down and you're in what is considered no man's land, the math tells you go for it. And we've seen every team, like a lot of people that you wouldn't even call ballsy.
Now, you saw yesterday, everybody goes for it on 4th and short. If it's 4th and goal at the 1 or 2 yard line, everyone is going for the touchdown. But Mike, 4th and 7, no man's land before the half, when if you give it back, it's the only chance the Patriots have to get 30 yards and get in field position and then momentum and all that stuff. It wasn't the easiest decision in the world, but I didn't think it was about his offense. I thought it was about his defense. He didn't think the Patriots were going to be able to do anything against them.
And they weren't. They weren't. And we'll see what happens with Mac Jones and what that means for the Patriots season. It's an incomplete grade on the Dolphins just because of the shape that game took for me. They did everything they needed to do, everything that you wanted to see as a Dolphin fan. That start of that game was electric. You were jumping off your couch, pumping your fists. You had your secondary playing amazing. They got away with a lot of contact, but it's a game-changing play. Look at the swing that just emotional and in score that one play to Devontae Parker in the end zone provided. So I just chalk it up to weird game. The Patriots clearly had nothing going on offense. Mike McDaniel knew that. It changed his strategy somewhat. I'd like to see more from the quarterback. We'll have a better idea headed into week 2 because the Patriots are well off from what they were at their peak last season.
Stugatz here. The numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe Home Security to protect their home. I'm one of them. They must be doing something right. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. I know because I use Simply Safe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. We here at the Batard Show with Stugatz love our families. We love our yards. We travel a good amount, and Simply Safe makes it easier to check in on our homes and loved ones when we are not there. We also love a good perimeter check. Oh, do I love that. There's nothing better than a relaxing afternoon stroll around the yard just to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and Simply Safe makes this easier to do with their state-of-the-art technology, crystal clear HD cameras when we are traveling. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/DLB. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/DLB to learn more. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Belichick said after the game, even game, 14-point swing on a couple of big plays. That interception was one of them. That could have easily been 7 points for the Patriots because they just put it at the 1 yard line because it shouldn't have been an interception. Yeah. The Patriots should have been up 7-0.
Yeah. That's why you have Xavier Howard. He'll get the benefit of the doubt on that. Very smart
do that
play.
In the NFL with corners who have a reputation? Do
Somewhat.
they give
look
star
at Richard
calls?
Yeah, Richard Sherman got that dude mugged everybody. Pete Carroll's whole strategy in Seattle was you can't call us on a penalty every play. And yeah, Xavier Howard is a cornerback of repute in the eyes of officials. And it's also Devontae Parker. Yeah. If it wasn't Devontae Parker and it was a wide receiver that was of equal or slightly lesser reputation up against Xavier Howard, he maybe doesn't get that.
How do you guys feel about Chase Edmonds having a 6 or 7 yard run, getting up, signaling first down, and it's still 3rd and 1 in a game where he rushes 12 times for 25 yards?
They don't have the yellow line, Dan, so they can't see that.
Markers were kind of off yesterday as well. It was kind of different. Normally they have the pole next to the marker. Yeah. So I think he ran by a pole, but not by the first down marker. I could understand the confusion.
That's why I'm a big hash mark guy, except for Soldier Field. That one's tricky.
Speaking of not seeing the lines.
Yeah, that was a mess. The NFLPA needs to step into Soldier Field. It is.
They changed the grass.
I liked it.
To what? There was grass? They were playing in a pond yesterday. And what's the excuse for the squiggly lines? That cannot be just the water. Who is in charge of making those lines?
I think because they were squeegeeing the water off the field, so maybe they squeegeed the out of bounds lines too. That was the most disaster. Like at a certain point, with 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, the Niners are down 9, and they're trying to make a comeback, and there was just no way. There was no. The conditions were simply no team. The Chiefs couldn't score there. The Chiefs against nobody, against like 11 of us couldn't score there.
I was like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, knowing that I locked in my under a few days earlier and seeing photos of that field. You cannot come out week 1. I know it's raining, but considering all the discussion around that stadium, where they're going to move to, and how the NFLPA is just like so up in arms about Soldier Field, out the box, I mean, that's a chef's kiss. Credit to the grounds crew. They gave us exactly what we wanted. It was like Iowa State. We came here looking for filth. We got it.
What are you supposed to do about rain, though?
Yeah. They laid down a whole new surface less than a week before the game. They've been having issues with this because the Chicago Fire, the MLS team, were supposed to be playing there 2 weeks ago, and they had to relocate to a different stadium because the field was in such bad condition. I guess like sometimes stadiums host concerts, and they can and the
I
field
saw One
just
Direction there.
Yeah, the field just never recovers. It's just like I think they had Coldplay there, and the field just never recovered.
The field has never recovered from Coldplay to when they were playing Clocks in 2003.
No,
I don't
Coldplay's
understand.
on tour right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is like from 2003.
I got you. There was flash flooding, though, yesterday. Like, it was a very, very big rainstorm. There were a lot of issues in Chicago. It wasn't just like your run-of-the-mill, like, little twinkle.
Get yourself some Bermuda grass because Hard Rock Stadium had a football game the day prior.
I
and
hate that
turf
grass.
Was pristine.
You guys are just going to skip right past I saw One Direction there, huh?
1D.
We're just going to romp lovingly right past that as a sentence. And I'm a week remiss in asking Chris Whittingham how the Kid Cudi concert was.
It was an experience, Dan.
It was
from start to finish. That was absolutely extraordinary. I have never been around that much marijuana smoke in my life.
Boy.
That was like 10,000 people lighting up at the exact same time.
And that was just our row.
It was insane. I was drowning in it. I halfway through the concert sat down. Yeah. And I spent the second half of the concert sitting.
How many goodness me's?
I mean, it was oppressive. I just the lights too. The lights are flashing everywhere, and I have never felt like that in my life. Or I can't do this. I'm out. I tapped out.
You left?
No, I just
he
sat
stayed
down.
there.
I just sat down.
Witty does this thing where he crosses his arms and he likes to scan like the arena and just like he soaks in like the time that
Mental
everybody else.
play-by-play.
But it just seems like he's a cop. It just seems like he's a cop. He has his arms crossed and he's looking for stuff. I could have been paranoid. We'll get more on that in a second.
Jessica, I don't think I've ever seen you roll your eyes, and you often roll your eyes, than the way
nervous habit.
that Whittingham was describing the marijuana smoke around
Well,
him.
he said he was drowning in smoke.
Yeah. What do you mean that's weird?
You don't hear that often.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
Was it indoor or outdoor?
It was indoor. It was inside the FTX.
What, the marijuana?
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus.
Give him the loser game show sound and hit him with a show killer too, just because.
Also, he has a setup there where he literally has to rip the microphone away from Chris Whittingham to make a bad joke.
Yes, that's what just happened there. What happened there is I haven't heard from Chris Cudi in 10 minutes, and he whipped the microphone away from Whittingham in order to say that.
I do also want to amend our Soldier Field conversation, Mike. They did install Bermuda grass.
I apologize humbly, grounds crew. I accuse you of not having Bermuda grass. My bad.
And in the spirit of talking about Tua, love Harry Styles. What a guy.
Yeah.
Great.
One
Direction. How about it?
I was convinced after someone framed the video, the alleged spitting video, that Chris Pine was just looking for his sunglasses because that entire tour, he hates the movie so much. As soon as they start the projector, he just puts his sunglasses on and goes to sleep. That has been a recurring theme of Chris Pine's promotional duties.
That has to have been the wildest set in the history of the movies, based off all the press that's come out of it since, all the interactions between the cast. They must hate each other.
Here's a hot take. Whatever happened on that film set happens on a lot of film sets that male directors are in charge of. I feel like it's getting a lot of attention because all the people involved are extremely famous and it's very public. But it doesn't seem that far from what happens a lot in Hollywood.
It just seems like a particular degree of it, because you could be right that a lot of actors end up hating each other, but they go out on the press tour and they seem like they like each other. Yeah. This is like they've completely dispensed with any semblance of we like this movie, we like acting. Timothée Chalamet is just kind of like being a complete nihilist about the whole thing, about the whole globe. Like this has to have been the strangest movie set.
Well, Florence Pugh, whose performance in the film is actually what many critics are calling the best part of it, the only promotional part of the campaign she is doing was in Venice at that film festival. She wants nothing to do with the film, and the reports are that she was brawling with the director, Olivia Wilde. I believe she's still dating Harry Styles. Is that correct? Or
I think so.
It was weird because Chris Pine was sitting in between them.
Not in this film, Witty. That was a separate press event. That's okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
My favorite part of it was Nick Kroll had a TikTok where they were driving to the premiere and all the fans were lined up on the street trying to like peek into the car and see if it was Harry Styles, and the whole time he's just driving, he's like, not him, it's me, not him. And they're all these fans are so disappointed. They all have signs. They're all like, oh, it's just like, we don't know who that guy is.
Do we have sound of Harry Styles describing what he thinks about the film? It's movie, and it's movie that you want to go to the movies for because it
feels like a movie.
It feels like a movie.
Speaking of sound and famous people, Anthony Mackie was not abiding the disrespect that Falcons fans and Saints fans have for each other. Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Did the Jets jet yesterday more than the Falcons falconed? At Le Batard Show. But here is the sound of Anthony Mackie not having it as an Atlanta Falcons fan wants to run him right out of the building.
If you're a celebrity, we're on the Avengers, you ain't welcome. Rise up, baby. Rise, Anthony Mackie. Show your face if you're going to rep the Saints in Atlanta. We don't want you. Rise up, baby. Let's go. Rise up.
You're disappointing your father. He raised you to be better than this.
Oh.
Be a better man.
Hey.
Be the best man that you can be.
Rise up, baby.
Be a better man.
Rise up.
Disrespecting your father.
My rise up.
Your father's saying.
You disrespecting Atlanta. When you're in the A, you represent the A.
Sir, I'm sorry that your sperm turned out to be
He's sorry he's an Aints fan. Rise up, baby. We don't want you. You ain't welcome. Rise.
So what happened there is that he's walking behind a celebrity, putting him in his video. Anthony Mackie catches on to what it is that he's done and then speaks into the video to tell that man's father that the son is disgracing him.
Rise up.
I'm sorry your sperm turned out like this.
It's such a great argument ender to just shout that in his face.
Anthony Mackie had nothing for that.
Rise up.
Disrespect.
I mean, he did go pretty high up on the food chain with a stranger by talking directly to his father and saying the son shamed him. But he kept having...
It's working. I'm interrupting you right now, and you're rattled.
He's got different cadences. It's like a great pitcher changing speeds. Like he changes the tone of it and changes the argument. Yeah, we need to take the microphones away from Tyreek Hill. Somebody go get him. Because this is gonna end up in a bad place before week 8.
They did. He's going to stop doing his podcast until February. Focus on football. That had to have been a strategic decision amongst multiple parties, I would imagine.
It's only just to announce a new podcast, which is just called Focusing on Football with Tyreek Hill.
Hey.
Put it on the poll, please, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. How do you pronounce, you, the audience, how do you pronounce what Tyreek Hill said Mike McDaniel has to carry around
Rise up, baby!
his testicles in.
I learned that from this show. I had always thought it was wheelbarrow. Like a barrel.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Batard Show. Wheelbarrow or wheelbarrow? Because I imagine a lot of people pronounce it wheelbarrow.
It's a former middle linebacker for the Miami Hurricanes and New York Giants. Barrow. I had no idea. Wheelbarrow made so much sense to me.
Speaking of former Hurricanes, were you mad that Texas A&M lost this weekend because you wanted to go in there and beat them next week?
Well, I still don't think that we're going to beat them. The line has gone down to 4.5 in some places. It was actually holding steady at 7.5 for a very long time, which I found encouraging. I am bummed. College game day was certainly going to be there, and not only did Appalachian State ruin Texas A&M season, they also sold their game day. So it's going to dilute the experience somewhat, but
not for Aggies fans, because we got a Power 5 team coming in. Mario Cristobal's done a good job recruiting at the U, but I think we're going to have a big weekend, bounce back. And, the 12th man will be there to support us, Dan. So I'm looking forward to it, and we're going to get back on track here.
Van Dyke going after the game and throwing at night with his receivers. How do you feel about that?
Well, Tyler Van Dyke, have we announced this? Can we formally announce?
Can we announce it?
Yes,
Should we announce it?
I know that the deals are done and compliance is approved, and we are all signed and good to go. Huge announcement. The Le Batard Show has signed NIL deals with 2-star University of Miami athletes. Destiny Harden on the women's hoop side. She destroyed Louisville during the ACC tournament last year, ripped out their heart, Louisville. And Tyler Van Dyke, star quarterback, Tyler Van Dimes, is our first NIL athlete along with Destiny Harden. As part of that, they have to show up to the Cyclones game on September 30th. Because this is our philanthropic effort. We got a highlight team, the Cessa Cyclones, and we were told that if we won the Battle Corps Championship, which we did, we had to donate that money to charity, and we decided NIL was charity.
Every other team is doing like children's hospitals, and we're going to have Tyler Van Dyke at the game.
Up. Yeah, he just has to sit in that owner's box while Chris Cudi wears a cowboy hat and walks around with a cane.
He should tell us to keep our money. He really should. He should tell us to keep our money in exchange for not having to go do that.
But it's a national spotlight for our NIL athlete, so you have more reason to root for TVD against Texas A&M. I am not. Now it's like, it kind of feels like Miami almost has to win this game because they lost to Appalachian State, and I don't necessarily know. But I am very confused as to what's happened to Texas A&M. They've recruited very well. They have a bunch of 5-stars on that team. And if you would tell me 4 years into the Mario Cristobal experiment, they're struggling at home against Appalachian State the way that Manny Diaz did last year and needed a field goal at the end to win, I'd be up in arms about it. I'd be furious. And it seems as though it's already catching up to Jimbo over there. People are criticizing that offense and everything.
I got to give respect to Appalachian State. They played a great game. They can control the ball well. We didn't have a lot of answers for them on defense. We have a new defensive coordinator this season. You should know. Our defensive coordinator left. He's a head coach now in the ACC. We don't want to talk about him anymore. But it's not going to happen next weekend against Miami. I'll tell you that much. We're a better team. I believe in our guys.
Can I already be offended by their midnight yell on Friday? May I? Because I saw their midnight yell video against Appalachian State, and you want to talk about a wheelbarrow full of balls. College Station, big timing Boone, North Carolina, as if it's something like small town Appalachia.
They don't even know how to read there.
Yeah, like your College Station. Like, what are we doing? And also, it's a cult. They know they're a cult. It's very disarming when they say they're a cult, too.
Be careful, Mac.
Are you guys enjoying that as they give $8 billion to the conferences, the Sun Belt runs everything in college football?
They deserve some of those billions. I saw a stat that the 3 teams that went on the road was at Marshall, Appalachian State. Who was the third one?
Georgia Southern. Which got Scott Frost fired. Did you know that Clay Helton was the head coach at Georgia Southern?
Clue.
I didn't know that Trev Alberts, the former Nebraska player, was the guy with the rights to fire him. Like, they put in the interim coach. I had no idea that Trev Alberts was the AD there.
Those Sun Belt teams, though, got a combined $4.2 million to win those games.
That's why they call it the Fun Belt, Chris Whittingham.
On the A&M subject, by the way, I saw that they have more 5-star recruits in last year's recruiting cycle then Appalachian State has top 1,000 prospects on their team. They have 6 top 1,000 prospects on their entire roster, and A&M had 8 5-stars last recruiting class.
Texas A&M has apparently a really good quarterback that's a true freshman. That might be the move for Jimbo Fisher headed into Miami. They have the transfer from LSU in Johnson. I think King might start that game just because he's mobile, and if Miami's susceptible to anything on defense that they've shown this year is that a mobile quarterback can get some yards on them. But Texas A&M, that fan base is really pissed off, and if King shows up out there at quarterback, I'm not sure that's a move either. Very curious. For all the resources Texas A&M has, for all the 5-star recruits that they have along those trenches, to be getting bullied by the likes of Appalachian State in the trenches, to not really have a quarterback you can trust, and this is going to be his 5th recruiting cycle over there for Jimbo Fisher. They are mad. Huge mad, and they should be.
How many plays did A&M run? They ran like 35 plays or something like that. Yeah, Appalachian State had the ball for 41 minutes in this game.
Cam Peoples, though, that you saw last year against Miami. They have a pro running back in Appalachian
They ran
State.
52 times.
You guys mentioned briefly Iowa, and I saw a stat that I've not been able to verify. I don't know if what I'm about to read you is true, but it sounds true. Even though it comes from someone called Cyclone Larry, who I imagine is an Iowa State fan.
Dangerous start to this.
Okay, but I don't know if it's true, but you tell me if it sounds true. Since 1897, in games where an offense scores 4 points or fewer and gets less than 170 yards, the record is 7 and 17,456. Now, I don't know if it's true, just sounds true. Iowa has 6 of those wins. And allegedly, they're 6-0-4 in those games, while the rest of the country is .0057 in those games.
Hawkeye football.
That can't be true.
No, it is. I heard that on Shutdown Fullcast. The Shutdown Fullcast was your go-to for El Asico preview because they were, Iowa won a game last week, part of the record, where they scored 7 points. They did not score a touchdown. It was a field goal.
I was in
2 safeties.
Yeah, I was infuriated by their quarterback. I watched the game with my fist clenched. I watched the whole game angry at Iowa for scoring more points in safeties than they did on offense.
Yeah, it should be a grit of death punishment game. Watch an entire Iowa football game, start to finish.
Yes,
commercials and all.
But if Kirk Ferentz gets fired, then the punishment is annulled.
He will never get fired. He will never ever get fired. You're going to have to rip that from his cold dead hands.
His coffin is going to be wheeled up and down the sidelines many years after his death, coaching Iowa football to 7 points in a game.
To a 13-10 win over Minnesota.
He's going to hold the afterlife to under 10 points, no doubt.
If his son gets fired, that's not going to happen either.
No, not happening. He has put in all the protections to make sure the Ferentz name lives long and prospers in Iowa.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Is Ferentz going to score 7 points a game in the afterlife at Le Batard show?
He's like, I made it to heaven. Oh, hell yeah. This is perfect.